Hare Krishna. Today we'll be talking on the very interesting story from Srimad Bhagavatam, which happens to be very well known among all the Hindus. We all very well know about the. Now you're saying it is from Bhagavatam, so why are you talking on the following topic that I will be mentioning? So it is related to Bhagavatam in a way that it relates to the essence that is mentioned in the scriptures. So we all know that Pitama Brahma, the Bhishma Pitamaha, he fought on the Kurukshetra war, but he was fighting on the side against the Pandavas. Now, why is that? We all get an impression that he was very, brave, valiant. He was a great Kshatriya fighter, the topmost fighter, and he had great values. He had very moral character, and he was also a devotee in a sense that he had all the knowledge what to do and what not to do, and he would advise the Pandavas and Kauravas both. Now, but he met a very sad end. Now, we'll be discussing on that. Actually, Bhishma Pitama, he had vowed to his passing father that he would help anyone who would be on the throne, the ruling king on the throne, and just protect his father's kingdom. So that was his promise to his passing father. So on the battle of Kurukshetra, he did not side the Pandavas, he took the side of Kauravas. And we all know then what happened. Now, why is it that he sided? He was very knowledgeable person. He had a great, strength. He was a great warrior. Then why did he not go on the side of Krishna, Lord Krishna, or rather Lord, or the Pandavas or the Arjun? That is because, as I mentioned, he had promised his passing father that he would always support the ruling king, and thus he supported Kauravas. Now, in this, we find that he also did not speak a word in the court, the royal court, where these Kauravas won the game of the game of the game that was being played between Kauravas and Pandavas of dice. And in we saw how he kept and did not utter a word when uh, when the Kauravas were doing all kind of illegal work. They were disrobing the the queen of the Pandavas. So why was he silent at that time? So we see that Bhishma was, though he was a very knowledgeable, he was very, what to say, dharmic, but he lacked all these things. And how do we perceive all these things? And we also find a mention of he himself admitting that the reason why he could have suffered on the battle of Kurukshetra and why he had to go through so much distress. So Bhishma Pitamaha, he was actually blessed to be a very good, the topmost fighter by his own one of the gurus, Lord Parshuram. So but now we see in the now many people have a question that why did he go against Lord Krishna and what do we perceive of him? Do we value him as a very great personality on the battle? Because at the end, on when he died on the battle of Kurukshetra, he was asked by Lord Krishna to, give lessons to the Pandavas on the dharma and niti and all, etc. So how come Lord Krishna asked him to give these lessons to the Pandavas? So let us see it in the step by step. So in the Battle of Kurukshetra, he had vowed, Bhishma Pitamaha, he had vowed that he will protect the Kauravas, and Lord Krishna had also vowed that he would not pick up any weapon on the battlefield and on the side of Arjun against the Kauravas. That was the Lord's, he had determined that he would not take any weapons. And Bhishma Pitama, there was a heavy fight going on between Arjun and the Kauravas on the Kurukshetra, and then Bhishma Pitama had vowed that he would protect the ruling king. So he decided to pull Lord Krishna on the battle with the weapons and finish the Pandavas once for all, because they were getting stronger, and then he was already blessed by his guru, so he wanted to finish the Pandavas. And when he decided that, he wanted that the Lord should take weapons. Now, he why did he had such a wish? He had a wish and he had to abide by that, but also he was in awe and reverence of Lord Krishna, and he wanted to break the Lord's promise of not taking any weapons on the battlefield. So we know that how Lord Krishna, on the day when Bhishma was showering Arjuna with many arrows, unlimited number of arrows, at that time Lord Krishna picked the wheel of the chariot and rushed towards Bhishma to finish him off. At that time, what was Bhishma's reaction? If he was not a devotee or not any moral character, but or supporting the wicked Kauravas, then he would not have prayed to the Lord the way we find him mentioned in the scriptures. When he saw the Lord's beautiful form with the wheel of the chariot on the in his two strong arms, ready to push it towards him. He with folded hands, he said that he welcomed the Lord, and he said, this glimpse of you holding the chariot, wheel of the chariot, and rushing to me on the battlefield is so beautiful. It looked so beautiful to him, and he was mesmerized. And then he he actually did for a pranam to the Lord with the folded hands. So that is how we know, and then and that is how we know that was the scene on the Battle of Kurukshetra. Now in the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, we also see that the gopis, they broke all the rules to meet Lord in the mid of the night. In the mid of the night, when they should not be going out of the house, even leaving their husbands, in-laws, children, they rushed out at the mid of the night to meet a person who is like a paramour, and they broke all the laws and ran to meet Lord Krishna in the forest in the midnight. Now the gopis did not care for any kind of bondage. They knew was to serve the Lord. And here also we find an instance where Lord Bhishma Pitama is doing everything only to please the Lord. So, in that light, we should take this pastime of Lord Bhishma's passing away, that he was a great devotee, he was a pure devotee. Because, like gopis, he stuck to his principles, and for the sake of the Lord, he did not budge from his own determination and his focus, and he chose to fight against the Pandavas for the sake of the Lord. So that is how we see it. And his death was a glorious one. We all know everybody was present at the time of his death, all the sages, all the munis, so many scholars, all the devtas, so many rishis, and the Lord Himself. He had a wish from the Lord. He had asked a boon from the Lord and prayed that when he dies at the time of his death, he wants a vision of the Lord. He wants to pass away seeing the Lord. So Lord gave him darshan. The Lord Krishna gave him darshan at the time of the death, and when he was lying on the bed of arrows, the his face was facing the Lord. So Lord gave him darshan, and Lord requested also the Pandavas to take the lessons on dharma from him. And we all know what he spoke on the battlefield before he passed away. So we take Bhishma Pitama as a pure devotee, just as gopis left everything and did everything only to please Lord Krishna. So with that, Hare Krishna.